Nemo isn't trying to do anything for a significant portion of the film, as the only things that he tries to do are putting the pebble in the filter to make the tank dirty. All of the scenes with Marlin and Dory are irrelevant to the main plot. There's a clear theme of how it is important to not be afraid in the face of danger. This theme is only obvious at the end. Once upon a time, there was a young fish named Nemo. Every day he sought freedom and adventure against the wishes of his dad. One day he is captured by a human diver. Because of that, he has to join the tank gang and help them escape. Because of that, he learns to conquer several of his fears, until finally he is able to convince Marlin that he is ready for adventure. All of the characters that Nemo interacts with, Marlin, Dory, the tank gang, the dentist, and Darla, are fully relevant to the main plot. Nemo is used to living comfortably in the reef, and now he is confined to a tank and has to escape from it. The ending is that Nemo is no longer as afraid or vulnerable as he was at the beginning. This is something that he had to work for himself. When production on this film began, the screenplay was already complete, which is very rare for animated films. This is a great example of finishing the story before turning it into the movie. As I explained in point 8, this film began production when the screenplay was already completed. This means that the screenwriters had a lot more freedom since they wouldn't have to redo any animation. Andrew Stanton based this film off of multiple personal experiences, such as his trips to the aquarium as a child, and the feeling that he was being overprotective with his own children. As I explained in point 8, production of this film began with a complete screenplay. Several side characters, such as Gil and Gerald, were originally given much deeper backstories. These scenes were cut as they weren't relevant to the main plot. Nemo is always afraid throughout the movie in a way that makes perfect sense. The loss of a parent is a very common plot point in animated films. However, the family here could easily be seen as a normal human family as opposed to a royal or elite family. If I was Nemo, I would definitely feel very afraid, as I would be in a completely unfamiliar place with no certainty that I would ever be able to escape. Nemo is going to be taken by Darla, who is almost certainly going to kill him, and the only way of escaping that he knows about is jamming the filter, which could also kill him. The screenplay of this film was written in 1997 and 1998, well before production began, as I explained in point 8. However, Andrew Stanton later said that the casting of the lead actors is what saved the film, and there were still multiple scenes that were changed or deleted. Nemo breaking the filter is not what allows him to escape. Instead, the thing that allows him to escape is the fact that Nigel causes a distraction, which was completely beyond Nemo's control. It sure is convenient that Nigel shows up right when Nemo is taken out of the tank, even though Marlin and Dory had no knowledge of what was happening to Nemo. As I explained in point 14, this film has the building block of a child being separated from their parents, only this film is about an ordinary family as opposed to a royal or elite family. Most animated films with overprotective parenting as a major plot point end on the premise that the parents are either 100% right or 100% wrong. However, this film shows how the parent and child are equally right and wrong. Also, those films usually feature a much older child, usually a teenager, while Nemo is young enough for Marlin's fears to be completely justified. Nemo is captured by a human diver and placed in a tank where he is the only hope of escape, meaning that he has to overcome his greatest fears only for Nigel to swoop in and save everyone at the last minute.